Today's show, we're going to get a little political. This is the show of entertainment and enlightenment. And today we're going to try to enlighten. We're going to try to have an adult conversation. Shout out to Egberto Willies. Anyway, he has a show on KPFT 90.1 Tuesdays at 3 o'clock. It's a political show. I just want to stick with socialism versus capitalism.
I said democratic socialism.
I've been really trying to find out where socialism works, and I didn't find a difference between democratic socialism or just regular old socialism. So how does socialism work? Because I have my thoughts on how capitalism works.
I'm going to sell it to you, and I'm going to do it in a fun fashion because you have a fun show, so we don't want to bore the people here.
Exactly.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the deal. Capitalism says the following. Capitalism says, I'm going to use you, and you're just capital, and I'm going to take everything. I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars, period, no matter what happens, no matter how much money I make. And because I am the one who owns all the material, the capital, I'm going to take that money, and it's all for me. And what happens then is exactly what we see in the country right now. Everybody trying like hell to make some money. They can't make some money. They don't get enough money to survive. That's why you have in all these different places, the mother living with the daughter, living with the son, all that kind of stuff, right? That is what capitalism breeds by design. Now, democratic socialism is different, and don't look it up in the dictionary, because what they did in the dictionary is they lied to you. They made sure that socialism and communism had the same definition. That is not true. The Powell Manifesto, this little document that was written by a guy named Lewis Powell, came out and said, you know, we got to fool Americans. They're getting liberal. And when they get liberal, guess what happens? They get intelligent. And when they get intelligent, guess what happens? They realize that we're screwing them.
Let me just read what socialism says. Yes. Even though you say it's wrong, I just want to let you know what I read.
Sure.
And this is according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. It says, a way of organizing a society in which major industries are owned and controlled by the government rather than by individual peoples and companies. Right?
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
If that's right, it's wrong or it's right?
It is absolutely wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just asking you. Let me tell you what capitalism says. Capitalism says socialism says that industries are owned by and controlled by the government. Capitalism says a way of organizing an economy so that things that are used to make and transport products are owned by individuals, people, and companies rather than the government. So you're saying that socialism is the definition of capitalism, right? Am I right?
No, I'm saying that the definition of capitalism that you just read was a lie, and the definition of socialism that you just read was also a lie. And the reason they had to lie to you is so that you would support it. Let me tell you what capitalism is. Capitalism is the taking of companies that you created. Let's say, Tommy, you own a truck. You have your own trucking company. So you own your truck, you have your company. Somebody comes up and say, you know what, Tommy? I'm going to go ahead and give you $100,000 for your truck. Have you work for me? I'm going to then take that $100,000 and split it up into 10,000 pieces and sell it to 10,000 different individuals. Those 10,000 individuals are going to sit down at your pool and do whatever the hell they want. And you, Tommy, as you bust your butt driving that truck every day, a piece of that profit goes to each of those 10,000 people that are sitting down at your pool. That's capitalism. Capitalism says we turn everything into a product, we capitalize it, and a few people who have capital can make money out of it. Now, in your case, I believe in democratic socialism and free enterprise. It is not the same thing as capitalism at all. Free enterprise says, Tommy, you have your truck. All the profits that you make with your truck is yours. Everything that you own your truck, you own everything. But here's the deal that we make with you, Tommy. Because you drive on those freeways that you don't want to bust up your truck, you're going to pay enough taxes so that those freeways are fixed. Because you, Tommy, can get in a wreck and get hurt, we want to make sure that a lot of taxes that you pay, you get health care. Hey, Tommy, guess what? The environment that's getting messed up, in Pasadena, where we call Cancer Alley, those capitalists make sure that Cancer Alley survives. Because here is the deal. They throw all that stuff into the air, and guess what happens after that? Those people die. You don't, because we're there to protect you. So we have to have an honesty in the way we define these terms, and then we can go ahead and do some real stuff.
Like when tax day comes around, are you excited to pay your taxes?
No.
I think none of us are.
Hey, here's the deal. Tommy. Nobody likes to give away that money that in taxes, right? I know it's a necessary evil, and the necessary evil is so that I am willing to look here. I like to go to the grocery store and buy milk and eggs and all of that, right? And for that milk and eggs to get to that store at a price that I can afford, Tommy has to be able to take his truck and drive on the roads that my taxes build and take Tommy to H-E and Safeway to deliver those products. So my thing is, I don't mind paying taxes so that Tommy can get his job done. Tommy should not mind pay taxes so that those things can happen. That's why we have a society and not laissez-faire. If we don't have roads, Tommy ain't got a job. If we don't have a whole lot of these things, Tommy ain't got a job.
There's a gauge of how rich someone is. The difference of what you own and what you owe. Own and owe. Right? Does that make sense?
So basically, you got one from a good family and another one from...
In other words, somebody who looks like they're rich. In other words, Donald Trump is not rich because Donald Trump is not really a billionaire.
Because he owns so much.
And all his owes, you'll notice that it's not even $1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay? So you are absolutely correct in your definition, Tommy. 100% correct.
Hey-o.
So, but I still don't know the answer to what that delta, that difference, I still don't know what rich means. That is for all of us as a society to determine, right?
Okay.
Because let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, okay? When Jeff Bezos, and I don't know if you read my last blog, when Jeff Bezos is worth, not worth, but has $160 billion, right? That's what he has.
Yeah.
That's not money he made. That is the intellect of all those people that know how to do things that Jeff Bezos don't know how to do. All he was able to do, and this is the difference between capitalism and free enterprise. What Bezos was able to do is use his capital to buy like slaves, engineers, and these other guys.
I think minimum wage should be $0. Zero. So go ahead.
I know where that comes from. The minimum wage back several years ago, I think it's like 15, 20 years ago, was $7 an hour.
Yeah,
$7.25. If you extrapolate inflation and what that $7 bought in 1980 compared to what it buys in 2019, then what we have is that it really should be $22. And businesses who are making that delta amount of money should be able to afford it, given that it was $7 in 1980. The truth of the matter, my brother, is corporations, capitalism is killing the middle class.
So my thing is that, okay, like let's say you're for the poor, fine, whatever. So am I. I'm for everyone. But the thing is though, like let's say somebody discovers something, a product, and they become successful, right? So they become successful, and you want to tax them, and it doesn't make sense to me. It seems like punishment.
That is because we were indoctrinated into that belief, right? When I'm going to give you my example. I made a product. I made several products. You can look up Willies Computer Software Company.
Hey, free plugs.
What it is. Okay, and the reason I'm saying that is I write software. I created a whole lot of products. The reality is I invented these pieces of software that do a lot. I sold it to engineers all over the place, on companies, IBM, NASA. Everybody uses my software. But here's the thing. I sat down one time in my dark office with all the lights off and said, did I really, I made all of that. I was making a ton of money. I'm telling you. All of it is gone now that I've been a full-time activist for the last 10 years or more. Did I really make a ton of money? Yes, I was the one who wrote the software. Yes, I was the one who sold it. I did a whole lot of stuff, but here's what I recall. I am from a little country in Panama, in Central America called Panama. I came over here, and the good people of Texas paid a whole lot of taxes to create the University of Texas. I went to the University of Texas, and I got me a damn good education. I was very good. And after I got that education, I got into NASA and worked for all these other companies. And the taxpayers who got my education further because I worked at NASA and would take courses and all these other things, I was able to take advantage of what the taxpayers did for me. So in my mind, in the way I think, the way I grew up, my morals tell me that, well, it's not all me. It's you too, Tommy. When you paid your taxes, you helped me go to the University of Texas. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's always about us not looking at self and thinking we alone did it. I could go ahead and say, I'm the best coder on the planet. I can write some software like no other. I made Windows do things it could never do. But guess what? You know who gave me that impetus to do that?
Me.
All you guys that paid taxes.